And welcome to the beautiful sunshine here in Portugal for the biggest kart racing event of the year. That's right, we are here for the 16th Rotax MAX World Finals. Drivers from all around the world, we're talking nations from Slovenia to Singapore, from Canada to Colombia, from the United Arab Emirates to the United States. Just under 300 drivers representing 52 different nations here this weekend. We're not allowed to call it the Olympics of karting, so we'll come up with a better name. Nope, can't think of one. This is as big as it gets. Instead of racing for factory teams this weekend, the drivers are flying the flag for their nations. All the action coming your way right here on MotorsTV. The 16th Rotax MAX World Finals from Portimao in Portugal. The first ever Rotax MAX Grand Final was held in the Caribbean, Puerto Rico, back in 2000. Just 66 drivers in one single category. 16 years on, it has grown into be the biggest kart racing event in the world. It's the third time the event has been held here in Portugal. We spoke to two of the organisers here from Rotax, Arnaldo Frias from Rotax Portugal and Helmut Vogelsam from Rotax in Austria.
It's always a challenge, a big challenge for us to organize such an event, and the expectations from the customers are always bigger and bigger, so it's really a huge challenge. The complex is fine, the facilities are good, the track is excellent, and the weather is also good this time. So we have a very good combination of all things to have really a very nice event.
We had a clear vision, we wanted to do something completely different, what the market is not expecting. But what we have achieved so far is exceeding our expectations, to be honest.
Let's go back to the very first MAX World Final in Puerto Rico, 66 drivers, to this, Portimao, Portugal, nearly 300 drivers, 52 nations. Yeah. You must be very proud.
No, of course, we are proud, and the best thing for us is to see so many different nations working together here side by side in the paddocks. But if it comes to the racetrack, of course, it's racing, but that people are getting friends and getting together. This is the very special thing of this event.
Helmut, tell us a little bit about the Rotax company and the effort they put into kart racing.
Kart racing or any racing activity is in the DNA of BRP. All our products are either for recreational or for motorsports activities. So karting definitely fits perfect into this DNA, and it's a perfect product also, where we can reach already the very young customers and link them to the brand. So that's the perfect fit for us.
Let's have a look at two of the chassis being used here this weekend at the Rotax MAX World Final. This is the Praga Dragon Evo chassis. From the Czech Republic, as you can see, a beautiful piece of engineering, 30mm chassis rails all the way throughout, very direct steering, rear wheel hydraulic disc brakes only, and of course this, the Rotax MAX Junior engine. 125cc, water-cooled, direct drive, putting out around about 28 horsepower. The Senior Max class is using the Sodi Kart Sigma chassis. Sodi Kart is the biggest kart manufacturer in the world. The French team won the World Championship way back in 1993. They are the sole supplier to the Max Senior category. The Rotax Max engine, as we saw with the Junior class, very, very similar, but significantly it does feature a power valve right here, which gives the engine around about 3 or 4 more horsepower, putting out about 31, 32 horsepower at the rear wheels. The Rotax World Final is of course famous for its equality of equipment. It is a one-make category, which means all the drivers are on identical equipment. This is the beautiful Birol Art chassis. All the drivers in the DD2 class are using this very go-kart made just outside Milan in Italy. Drivers, identical equipment. If they need assistance, of course, that's on hand from the Birol Art team here this weekend, one of the most famous teams in the world of kart racing. This is the bitumen that makes up the 1,532 metre circuit that is Portimao in Portugal. The track was built in 2010. It is the second time we've had the Rotax World Finals here. It's a super quick open track, one of the fastest circuits on the calendar. But for a better view, let's go on board with the reigning Malaysian champion, Melvin Mo, for a flying lap of this amazing complex. One driver with a lot of attention this weekend in Portugal is the two-time Brazilian national champion. Rubens, if I'm not mistaken, your first national title, 1987, aboard a DAP chassis. And here we are, 2015, you've qualified for Brazil.
Yeah, no, it's been an unbelievable journey. If you asked me then in 87, hey, you are here, you're gonna have a chance in Formula One, and you're gonna do well. And then you're gonna be still very competitive at age 43, and you're gonna do another World Championship. I would say I'll rather go for the Formula One, but I'm not so sure the 43 competitive. So I am so proud of being here, racing with those kids who are amazing, and I'm here. So I made it the final, and hopefully I can go just forward. I want to finish top 6 tomorrow.
We've just seen your pre-final. You've just scraped through. Very competitive racing here in Portugal.
Yeah, no, it was a competitive one. We lost a little bit of speed, and we're analyzing. You can see we're going to spend some time over here. We're looking at anything we can to search for some more speed, because the bottom wasn't that strong. But I'm happy. I'm so happy I made it.
Brazil, of course, synonymous with football and racing drivers. We think of the world champions that your country has produced. Gustavo Fragas, Rubens Carapatoso, our friend Caio Collet, third in the world championships just a few weeks ago, flying the flag for Brazil.
Yeah, no, Caio is our new joy. So he's really, really good. I'm actually trying to help his career, because with a good coach and good management, he's the next one.
Finally, racing here in Portugal, a little bit like racing back home in Brazil with the language and the colonial links.
Yeah, absolutely. I spent some good time in Portugal when I've done Formula One for vacation with the family and so on. I love it here. The weather, we have some good weather like Brazil, so it's good to be here.
Rotax now offers the opportunity for kids as young as 8 years of age to take part in this fantastic sport. The Micro Max by Rotax produces just over 8 horsepower. This identical one-make category gives drivers the opportunity to learn basic race skills. The Mini Max class for drivers 10 to 13 years of age, also identical in performance, producing around about 15 horsepower. Both the Micro Max and Mini Max categories were on display here at the Grand Finals, giving these young drivers the opportunity to race on the world stage. More than 15,000 drivers from all around the world competing in the various national Rotax Max Challenge Series attempted to qualify for this, the Grand Finals. 72 drivers in each of the 4 categories took to the track for practice and qualifying here in Portugal. In the junior class, it was the driver from Finland, Rupe Rapinen, who scored pole position. He lapped the Portimao circuit with a fastest time of 1 minute 1 seconds, .912. The Senior Max category is the original Rotax Max class. It is arguably the most competitive karting category in the world. 72 drivers once again hitting the track to take part in practice and qualifying. At the end of time practiced, it was Berke Besler from Turkey who claimed pole position. 1 minute .302, just 1/100th of a second faster than second placed Alex Ilando from Italy. The DD2 Masters class is for the veterans of the sport. You must be at least 32 years of age or over to compete in this, the DD2 Masters category. It is super competitive, with many drivers having more than 2 decades of experience in kart racing. At the end of qualifying, it was the American Derek Wang who took pole position, 59.257 seconds, just ahead of the South African Michael Stephen, 6/100th of a second of pole position. In the DD2 or direct drive 2-speed Rotax category, a lot of eyes were on the 311 kart of the Grand Prix superstar from Brazil, 43-year-old Rubens Barrichello. But his F1 experience, his reputation meant nothing here in Portugal. Indeed, it was the Hungarian, the reigning European champion. He won in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago for Renkenska, who took pole position just ahead of the 2009 Grand Final champion, Luke Varley, the driver from England, now flying the flag for the United Arab Emirates. 52 nations from all around the world, 288 drivers descended on the Portimao circuit here in Portugal for this, the 2015 Rotax MAX Grand Final. It is the third time the event has been held in Portugal, the second time at the Portimao circuit that is part of the Algarve Autódromo here in southern Portugal. Beautiful conditions throughout the entire week for practice, qualifying and this, the driver's presentation held on the main straight of this magnificent facility here at Algarve. So it all comes down to this. We get ready for the start of the Junior Max Final here in Portugal. You're looking at Thomas Harrison on screen from the United Kingdom. We'll start on the second row of the grid. This boy from Finland, Rupi Rapinen, will start on pole position. The final 34 drivers getting set to go. This is Florian Venturi from France, second row of the grid. In the pre-final, though, we had a huge accident earlier on this morning. Let's take a look at the replay. Claim 3 of the front riders, a massive crash, claiming Dylan Drysdale, the reigning European champion, Jack McCarthy, and the Brit Axel Charpentier. This is Jack McCarthy, the 102 kart, as we saw. The reigning Euro champ picked up pieces of his kart, drove it back to the pits. The race was restarted. Look at Dylan Drysdale from New Zealand. A massive crash into the wall. Fortunately, all drivers were okay. Charpentier incredibly restarted the pre-final and finished third. You can see him on the second row of the grid in the 171 kart. The front row of the grid, Ropinen and Venturi, Finland versus France. So we get set to go for a start in a few moments' time. Watch out for Caio Collet, the 141 kart, on the third row of the grid from Brazil. Don't discount him taking a win here this afternoon. We get ready to go green here in Portugal. It is indeed Rapinen who will lead down into turn number 1. Venturi on the outside of the front row gets hung out to dry. They go through the first couple of corners. Oh, the American Trenton Estep goes wide. Does manage to recover. Rapinen now leads from Charpentier. On this, the opening lap of the Junior Max Final here in Portugal. Charpentier on the outside, Ropinen. Up the inside, Charpentier is going to lose 2 positions, 3, 4. He's back into position number 5. Your new race leader is Rupi Rapinen. We've lost 1. That is the Hungarian driver, Šombar Kovac. The 144 kart, he does rejoin though, but a long way down the field. Oh, Charpentier and Jules Bollier wrestling each other out in the grass. They both managed to rejoin, but they've lost a lot of time. We go back in the pack. Oh, another incident. That is the Estonian Carl Liesma and Taimur Shashi from Abu Dhabi. Well, driving standards have been a big talking point here this weekend. Nothing wrong with the driving standard of the boy out front, Caio Collet from Brazil, 141. Under tremendous pressure, though, from Rapinen. Matias Ramirez from Florida, he's now up into position number 4. Ramirez up the inside though, he's gone into second spot. Rapinen back to third. Venturi, the Frenchman, in 4th spot. Make that third because here comes Venturi. He slides up the inside. He signals, let's get on with it, because the leaders are skipping away just ever so slightly. There is Ramirez. He's gone through on Collet. Nicely done by the American on the Brazilian. 1 and 2, Ramirez and Collet. They're still fighting out for this, the lead of the Junior Max Grand Final. Ramirez fights back once again. They are trading positions every single lap here in Portimao, Portugal. Down the main straight, up the inside, Scott Simons. Oh, up over the ripple strip, trying to get past his countryman. Simons cannot quite do it. Harrison shuts the door, does not let him through. There's the 2 Englishmen. We go back to the front. Ramirez, Collet. There's Venturi, Simons, Harrison, Ropinen. The field make their way through in the sunshine here at Portimao. Colette right on the tail of the American. Can he get past? Not this time round. Venturi closes in ever so slightly. Colette runs a little bit wide that time, but he's going to get a good exit speed. The young boy from Brazil, third on the podium at the KF Junior World Championships just a few weeks ago. Here is Ramirez racing the Rotax series in the United States of America. He now leads the world final here in Portugal. Harrison, there's Simons, the two Englishmen, fourth and fifth. Ropinen from pole position. He's now back in position number 6. Here comes though Colette. He goes down the inside and takes Venturi with him. The Brazilian regains the lead. Florian Venturi, this is ominous. He started from grid 2. He fell back to 6th off the start. As we look at Ropinen going through, he's now in position number 6. Yes, but Florian Venturi, the Frenchman, now up into 2nd spot. All over the back of the Brazilian. The front 3 are pulling away. You can see Ramirez, Colette, Venturi. Venturi fighting there with Ramirez. They're trading positions every single lap. Colette looks behind him. Venturi again signals to the Brazilian, get on with it. Let's pull away from the rest of the pack. As Charpentier puts a wheel out in the dirt, that will cost him a little bit. We are closing in on the final stages of this, the Junior Max final. The leader, Florian Venturi from France. Been a good fight back from the Frenchman. As we approach the dying stages of this final here in Portugal. The front 6 or 7 starting to bunch up. Colette looks over his shoulder in 3rd spot. The pack are gaining on the front 3. Venturi, Ramirez right on the back of the Frenchman now up over the hill. Can he make a move? Down the start finish straight. Venturi blocks the inside, looks over his shoulder. The American is right behind you, Florian. He's not going anywhere. Florian Venturi still holds on to the lead. Colette's gone back to 4th. Up into 3rd spot now is Harrison Thomas from the United Kingdom. Colette looks behind him. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to win this race. At the moment, he's not even on the podium. Back in 5th spot now is Colette, as the American Ramirez all over the back of Florian Venturi. But he won't have enough time. The checkered flag comes out. On the day that the events in Paris shocked the world, Florian Venturi wins for France. He is absolutely delighted. Ramirez holds on for 2nd spot. Kyle Colette, the Brazilian, takes the final step of the podium. There is Florian Venturi being congratulated by the 2009 world champion Arnaud Kozlinski. Let's hear from the race winner.
Je suis ultra heureux, la course elle a été
Well, I'm very happy, obviously. It was a very intense race. I was lucky with the overtaking at the first corner. I was on the outside, but I managed to fight my way back through and win this, a very dramatic race.
Et je suis content.
Senior Max final, about to go green in a few moments' time. This is Berke Besler from Turkey on the outside of the front row of the grid. Petra Beschel from the Czech Republic out of grid 3. Arnaud Sarrazin, European champion back in 1993. This year's European champion is Piers Lehane, but he will have to come from the back of the grid.
This is our 6th trip to Europe this year. Been a lot of time spent on the plane, that's for sure, but been worth it all so far, that's for sure.
Piers Lehane, reigning European champion. Best of luck here in Portimao.
Thank you.
Yes, Piers Lehane is going to need all the luck in the world. He did not have a good run in the pre-final and starts the final out of grid number 34. Front row of the grid, though, is the Italian Alex Irlando on pole position. He leads off the start down into turn number 1. He looks over his shoulder. Only to find Bessel in 2nd spot. Jordan Charat from South Africa is in 3rd. They race down into turn number 2 and 3. Oh, we've got one wide out in the grass. That is the Dutchman, Luke Willemse. Another couple of drivers going very, very wide. Sam Marsh from the United Kingdom clashing there with Sarrazin. Alex Irlando, a nice lead in the 229 car, the Italian. From Petra Beschel, Jordan Charat. Up the hill for the first time. Beschel from the Czech Republic. Jordan Sherratt, 16 years of age, from Durban in South Africa. Sherratt now closing in on the race leader, Alex Orlando. He's looking behind him. He's getting a little bit nervous. He's had a good run in the pre-final, but he's not running away with the final just yet. Well, you can see the leaders are starting to pull away. The fight back. This is Brad Jenner. Jenner touches there with Bessler. They've both lost a little bit of time to these two out front, Alex Orlando, Jordan Sherratt. We go back into position number 3, Luke Selican. Well, Jenner has recovered. Sarazen is just in front of him. Orlando from Sherratt. Oh, Orlando looks behind him. Sherratt waves, says, let's get on with it. The South African right on the tail of the Italian. Well, Italy, despite their strong karting heritage, has never won the Rotax MAX final. Oh, Piers Lehane, we spoke to him before the start of the race. He's had a wretched run here in Portugal. The 206 kart on the side of the track will rejoin, but a long, long way down. Race leader, Alex Orlando, Jordan Sherratt, Selican up into third spot. Brad Jenner just behind the American, Kyle Kirkwood. Across the line one more time, head down behind the steering wheel. There is Luke Selican, US Open champ for 2015. Already done a fair bit of late model NASCAR racing in the United States. He would love to add the grand final trophy to his resume. He's back in position number 3 and a long way back from the leaders. Sarazen fighting with Kyle Kirkwood, the American. They're still inside the top 5, but dropping off the leaders because Alex Orlando, there he is, starting to pull away. Sherratt doing his best to hold on, but the gap is out to 0.6 of a second as they come across the line. 129 kilometres an hour for the senior max class here in Portugal. Luke Selican from Portland in the United States. He still holds on to position number 3. Alex Orlando from Bari in southern Italy is looking at the biggest win of his career if he can hold on for another few laps. Jordan Sherratt, he can't do anything about the race leader. He's going to come under attack in a few moments from Luke Selican. The American getting closer to the South African. The other American, Kyle Kirkwood, back in position number 5. We go back through the field. Alex Orlando, there he is. The gap is getting bigger. Lucas Selican down the inside of Jordan Sherratt. Nicely done by the American. Sherratt cannot respond. The South African now back in position number 3. The Italian desperate to hold on to this, the biggest win of his career, potentially for another few laps, praying for that checkered flag to come out. Lucas Selican in second spot now. His countryman, Kyle Kirkwood, up into position number 4. But no one is going to catch Alex from Italy. The checkered flag comes out. He becomes the first Italian ever to win the Rotax MAX Grand Finals. He's absolutely delighted. Second place, Lucas Selican from the United States. And the driver from Durban, South African, Jordan Sherratt, rounds out the podium. Let's hear from Italy's first ever Rotax MAX Grand Finals winner, Alex Orlando.
It was a perfect race, the longest race in my life, from the first to the last lap in first position. During the race I make some mistakes, but I have the chassis and the engine to make better and to have a gap from the second driver.
Nearly 300 drivers means nearly 300 helmets here at the Rotax World Finals. This is Lucky Designs. This is some of their helmets from some of their top drivers. This is the helmet of Jordan Lennox Lamb, second in the World Championships this year. The former world champ Arno Kozlinski. This is the helmet of the Dutchman Bas Lemmers. But the drivers here this weekend are able to not only buy a new helmet outright, but get all their parts, their visors serviced for wet weather, for darker conditions, also all the accessories right down to gloves and stickers for their karts, racing at the Rotax World Finals this weekend here in Portugal.
One of the top drivers in world karting lives close enough to the North Pole to call Santa Claus his neighbour. From northern Finland, we spoke to Antti Ollikainen.
This has been a good race, and let's hope that it's going to be a little bit better in the final and pre-final.
Antti, you've been racing karts for a long time. You were back in the heyday of 100cc Super A in the World Championships. What's it like racing the DD2 Masters class these days?
Yeah, I really nice. This is a nice car, good engine, and the front brakes. It's very good. I like it.
And the weather here in Portugal, a little bit warmer than your home country in Finland.
Yeah, we have now a couple of degrees minus and a little bit snow, so this is so nice.
Yes, the Finn will start on the outside of the front row. There he is in the 405 kart. Antti Ollikainen. Pole position is the South African Michael Stephen. There is Ryan Urban from New Zealand. 408, Fernando Guzzi back for another attack. The two Australians, Adam Hunter and Jason Heinrich, 8th and 10th on the grid. Derek Weng, he qualified fastest on Thursday evening in time practice, but will have to start out of grid number 15. Two-time champion, 50 years of age, back for his 10th attempt. That is Christoph Adams. Fraser Hart, son of the late great Ray Hart from New Zealand, all the way back on grid number 28 with a lot of work to do. We're getting set for the start. The South African Michael Stephen and Antti Ollikainen share the front row of the grid. Ryan Urban, Fernando Guzzi on the second row of the grid. Look out for Luis Chavo from North America. He's out of grid number 5 as we go green. He's going to be Michael Stephen, who leads down into turn number 1. Ollikainen gets pushed out wide. There he is trying to slot in, but he's going to lose 2-3 spots maybe. He tries the high line. I think he will just hang on to it. Yes, indeed he does. Only just though. Your race leader on this opening lap of the race is Michael Stephen. Ryan Urban. Ollikainen in 3rd spot. There is Stephen. Opening laps of this race, he's got the New Zealander, Ryan Urban, right behind him. Then it's Ollikainen in 3rd spot. Luis Chavo, the American, is there in position number 4. Head of the Dutchman, Jim Ringelberg. Michael Stephen, 11-time South African champion. There's Henry Martin from Argentina, leading the Canadian Scott Campbell, still inside the top 10. Out front, Michael Stephen. Yes, 3-time South African production car champion with Audi. He leads the Rotax MAX Grand Final here in Portugal. Cross the line one more time. He looks behind him. The Kiwi has not gone anywhere. In fact, he's getting closer. He tries the inside line. Stephen shuts the door. Ollikainen watches on. Jim Ringelberg, the Dutchman, now up into position number 4, starting to close in on the leaders. There is Ryan Urban in the black race suit. Jim Ringelberg, 440 also with the black Alpine Star suit. He's gone through into 3rd spot. Pushes Ollikainen back to 4th. Urban still holds on to position number 2. Fernando Guzzi goes through. The Brazilian in position number 6. There is the Canadian Scott Campbell, still fighting inside the top 10, one ahead of Adam Hunter. Michael Stephen now with a little bit of a break. Jim Ringelberg up the inside of Ryan Urban. The Kiwi still holds on to position number 2. The Dutchman, Jim Ringelberg, 440, cannot find a way past. Michael Stephen with the clear visor. Oh, nice move that time. Antti Ollikainen, a big get out of the way to Jim Ringelberg. Fernando Guzzi says thank you very much. The Brazilian, he takes both of them. Luis Chavo, the American, just behind Ringelberg. Back in position number 7. Back to the leaders, Michael Stephen, defensive. Urban tries the outside line. Scott Campbell. Renato Russo, the other Brazilian, going through. Back to the front of the field. Ryan Urban has a look up the inside. Oh, he's gone wide. That almost cost him. He had a big look at the South African. Michael Stephen was not letting him through, held his nerve. Urban very lucky to get away with that one. Alakainen, the driver from northern Finland, just next door to the North Pole. We spoke to him before the race. He's looking for a big win here this afternoon. The driver from Finland in 4:05 is in position number 3. One ahead of the Dutchman, Ringelberg. Fernando Guzzi from Brazil. He holds down position number 5. There goes Guzzi. One ahead of Luis Chavo, the American, now into position number 6. Michael Stephen under tremendous pressure. Look at first through 6 as Chavo goes through. They cannot find a way past the South African. Fernando Guzzi, he gets past Ringelberg. Chavo in 4:09 watches on. Michael Stephen again defensive at 139 kilometres an hour here in Portugal. Alakainen up the inside. He's gone through on Urban. Can the Finn do anything about the leader out front? Michael Stephen continues to lead. Oh, Guzzi goes very wide onto the start-finish straight. Alakainen over the ripple strip. Urban tries the outside line. They're both attacking the South African. Urban goes wide. Guzzi up the inside. Jim Ringelberg takes the Brazilian. This is fantastic racing here in Portugal, but still, the South African Michael Stephen leads. Antti Alakainen from Finland in second spot. Fernando Guzzi, the Brazilian, is third. Can Alakainen do anything about the leaders? Oh, Guzzi's been pushed wide. He's not happy about that at all. Renato Russo, his countryman's gone through. That's cost him badly. Michael Stephen, 4.62, 11-time South African champion, under tremendous pressure here in Portugal. Scott Campbell goes through, just ahead of Fernando Guzzi. Alakainen tries the high line on Michael Stephen. Stephen down the inside. Alakainen looks behind him. There's no one there. He's ready to launch an attack. Stephen, Alakainen. Urban back in position number 3. Alakainen. Oh, and Stephen, they touch. They're both out. Stephen and Alakainen, 1 and 2, are both out. They have managed to rejoin, but a long way down the field. Michael Stephen, well, his dream of winning the Rotax Grand Final has gone up in smoke in that one move. The new race leader from New Zealand, 4-1-1, Ryan Urban from Auckland in New Zealand. How good was that for the Kiwi? Stephen and Alakainen, they took care of each other. Your race leader is Ryan Urban. Luis Chavo's now up into second. Jim Ringelberg, another veteran of world karting, he's in third. Make that fourth, because he's just been passed by the driver from Argentina, Gabriel Zugella. Renato Russo also going through. The Brazilian, he's now up into fourth spot. They're side by side, going down the hill. The Frenchman, Charlie Hip, Scott Campbell. There they are, fighting on for 7th and 8th place. Campbell up the inside, takes the Frenchman. Moves up another position. Ryan Urban, though. New Zealand has never won the Rotax World Final. They've had a few podiums. Ryan Urban on track to create history here in Portugal this afternoon. But he will have to withstand the pressure. Well, Antti Alakainen, you can see him on screen, 4:05. Tyre marks on that Sodi Kart bodywork. What could have been for the Finn? Out front, though, no one is going to catch Ryan Urban. Just a few weeks after New Zealand win the Rugby World Cup, Ryan Urban becomes the first ever Kiwi to win the Rotax MAX Grand Final. He's absolutely ecstatic. The American Luis Chavo across the line in second spot. And the Dutchman, Jim Ringelberg, takes the final step of the podium. Well, he's done it. The driver from Auckland, New Zealand. Let's hear from the race winner, Ryan Urban.
Yeah, what a race. I got shuffled back to 5th at one stage. I just didn't give up. And I knew there could be an accident any time, so I kept pressing on. We definitely had the pace in the car. We're just trying to get past.
You made a big move for Chavo on about halfway through the race and went very, very wide. That nearly cost you.
Yeah, I did go a little bit wide there, but we gathered it back up and carried on.
The fastest female racer here this weekend is Natalia Balbo from Vicenza in northern Italy. We spoke to her just before the final.
It's amazing, really. It's a great experience for me, and this is my first time here, so I only have fun because it's incredible, really.
You have qualified for the final. That's an amazing effort in itself. Tell us about qualifying through the repechage yesterday.
Yeah, it was a really crazy race yesterday at the second race. Yeah, we could be better, but it's okay. 30th position is quite far from the pole, but we can do it.
Well, Natalia will have to come from the back of the grid. This man, Ferenc Kanskar, the reigning Euro champ, he will have no such problems. He starts from pole position alongside the 2009 Grand Champion. That was Luke Varley. This is Andreas Bachmann, second row of the grid. Brad Liebenberg, 16-year-old from South Africa. Melvin Moe, the Malaysian champ, alongside Aaron Lim, former A1 GP driver. His mechanic this weekend. Of course, Rubens Barrichello, grid 20. Chatting there with Troy Woolston, who himself will start out grid number 22. As we get set to go for this, the big one, the DD2 final here at the Rotax MAX Grand Final here in Portugal. We go green, it is Kanskar who leads. Daniel Bray, he's gone out wide. No such problems for the Hungarian. He leads down into turn number 2 and 3. Oh, a big incident further back in the field. Martin Steinert and Konstantin Scholl from Austria, they are come together and effectively out of the race. Ferenc Kanskar, 3.26 from Hungary. What a brilliant year he's had. Reigning European champion. He won in Las Vegas 2 weeks ago. He has dominated the heat so far. Andreas Bachmann in second spot, the driver from Sweden, posing his biggest threat in this, the final. Mads Thompson from Denmark is up into position number 3, having got past the German Luca Kamali. Luke Varley from the front row of the grid, there he is back in position number 5, 3-1-1. Look at that, Rubens Barrichello from grid number 20 in the opening laps is up into position number 12. Kanskar, Bachmann, Mads Thompson, Kamali, Luke Varley. Melvin Moe's being pushed very wide. Oh, he touches with Javier Gonzalez, the Mexican. 3.16 loses a lot of time. Kanskar, he's pulling away. Bachmann's doing everything he can to hold with the Hungarian. Luca Kamali from Germany, he's in position number 4, ahead of Luke Varley, the driver from Leeds in England, now racing for Abu Dhabi. Varley up the inside. Oh, Varley, the 2009 winner. Just as we mentioned him, he's slowed and he's out of the race. Oh, as is Luca Kamali, the German, also pulling off the track with some sort of issue. It looks as though he's got no drive, no throttle in the 336 kart. So they are starting to drop in this, the DD2 final. We go back in the field. The Canadian Tyler Kashak from grid number 18. He's up on the charge. There he is, the driver from Toronto. Getting past Oriol Caballé, the Spaniard. Down the main straight one more time. Antonio Aguardo. Oh, the Spaniard has been turned around. He's out of it. We've lost another one. Marcel Schrimmer, the German, in 3.03, doing a nice job inside the top 10. Tyler Kashak, the Canadian, now up into 4th spot. Mads Thompson, the Dane, is in 3rd. There's Kashak. What a brilliant drive this has been by Ferenc Kanskar. Well, we've had our first New Zealand win today. We've had our first Italian win. Will we have our first Hungarian win? Mads Thompson in 3rd spot. The American, Jacob French, gets a little bit sideways. He's lost another couple of positions. Guess who's benefited? Yes, that's right, Rubens Barrichello from grid number 20. The Brazilian is now up into position number 4. His reputation, his F1 background means nothing here, but he has driven a brilliant race in the 311 kart. He's not going to quite make the podium, but it's been a brilliant effort nevertheless for Ferenc Kanskar on his way to victory. Down the straight, 139 kilometres an hour for the final time. Ferenc Kanskar comes across the line. He wins it for Hungary. Andreas Bachmann is second. Rubens Barrichello didn't quite make the podium, but he celebrates 4th place. A brilliant drive for the Brazilian. But take nothing away from this man, Ferenc Kanskar, the first ever Hungarian to win the Rotax MAX Grand Final.
Really enjoyed this race, and yeah, the speed was really good. I didn't really expect it. I was expecting I would fight for the top bar, but not like winning like this. But I'm really happy about it. I still cannot believe it.
Well, the sun has set on another magnificent event that was the 16th Rotax MAX World Finals. An amazing race that you saw right here on MotorsTV from this magnificent circuit that is Portimao here in Portugal. But for now, on behalf of all the team at MotorsTV, we say goodbye. We'll see you in 1 year's time for the 17th edition that will be held at the foot of Mount Vesuvius at Napoli in Italy. But for now, on behalf of everyone here in Portugal, we'll see you next time we go racing.